Greetings, Irish Nation and Irish haters. The recruiting is over, commitments have been made, transfers decided, practices are in motion, games are slated, bowl games have unknown participants with a national champion uncrowd. But to play like a champion, you need to talk like a champion. Welcome back, all Irish Nation. Glad you could join us for another edition of Talk Like a Champion. I am, of course, Mr. CeeLo. Glad to join you guys again for another show. Guys, we are here with another big matchup this week. As you guys know, we were able to take down a tough Duke Blue Devil team. And once again, we will be traveling to face a undefeated Louisville football team who just took down NC State in a very low scoring game last week. This game kind of bothers me a little bit because we still have not reached our full potential. Sam Hartman has really, I guess you could say not necessarily flatlined, but he's kind of mellowed off since he had the first couple of 300-yard games. But you guys know how I feel about that. I think it's more along the lines of Jared Parker ringing him in. You guys know how I feel about that. Now, a lot of people are going to say it's because we had 3 receivers that were hurt last week. I beg to differ. We took 2 shots down the field early in the game, and we failed to do anything else after that. I'm of the belief that you have to keep testing the defense. Duke's defense kept staying within the 10-yard radius, and you have to make those safeties back up. We took 2 shots to Tobias Merriweather. We took no shots down the field to Chris Tyree. And that's got to change because Sam Hartman's a guy that can do these things. He can make the defense pay if they play up. Now, granted, honestly, I'm going to say it like this. I do believe Duke's front 7 was better than Ohio State's. I'm going to just say that because we didn't run the ball as efficiently as we did against Ohio State. But looking at this Louisville defense, there's a lot of things to like about Louisville, but there's a lot of things that scares me. You know, for North Carolina State to only put up as many points as they did in that game, and I'm not trying to be one of those guys that compares apples to apples. You know, Notre Dame did what they did to North Carolina State in Raleigh. Louisville did the same thing. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to be a situation where the Irish, let's say the Irish score X amount of points. I believe that the Irish are going to win this game, but it's going to be in the fourth quarter. But let's break down how we do it. You know, we're looking at Louisville's quarterback, Jack Plummer. He's a very well-tested type quarterback, and he's a guy that throws the football. Doesn't play around. He's, you know, in my opinion, and as one of the Irish Nation type writers had said, he's a good test for the next guy that we come up with, which is Caleb Williams. And that's the reason I'm scared for this game, guys. We all know it's called, like they always say, a sleeper game. It's a sleeper game. There's no other way to put it. Louisville is the game before USC. Every Notre Dame player, every Notre Dame fan had this game circled. Everybody. Because here's the reality. We all know what USC can do. We all know what they did to us last year. But hopefully we're not overlooking Louisville. Louisville's undefeated, you guys. They are undefeated. And if we come in here slow-stepping, we could be out of the college football playoff. Because we lose this game, it's over. It's game over, Irish Nation. We have to go in here focused. Jared Parker, you have to call a game plan that's going to back them up. We have to be able to estimate some running room. And we can't do that if we got 8, 9, 10 guys in the box. We've got to start running play action pass. Now, as far as Plummer goes, Plummer's numbers aren't overly impressive, but I will tell you this. I think I love his decision making at times. A lot of times what happens is he's able to make a lot of plays that gets his team and his offense out of trouble. I do love his poise. And just looking at his numbers, I mean, he's tit for tat with Sam Hartman. You guys, watch this. Sam Hartman's thrown for 1456. Plummer has thrown for 1406. Now, here's the thing that makes it different, you guys. Plummer's thrown 6 picks. Hartman hasn't thrown a single interception. Knock on wood. The other thing is they've got a guy who is a very dangerous football player, and this is where Notre Dame's top 2 corners better keep their heads on. Jamari Thrash, the 6'1", 185-pound junior out of LaGrange, Georgia. Homeboy. So yeah, he's had 22 receptions, 444 yards, 5 scores. Just in case you guys don't know, it's 20 yards a catch. So that basically tells you in a nutshell, this guy is killing it when he gets the football, whether he's going vertical or whether he's catching it and making plays. Now, am I concerned about Louisville's offense? Well, let's take a look here. Because what I think we need to focus on, Irish Nation, is this. Louisville just broke into the top 25. We have to be considerate of what is coming up. We know USC's coming up, but that's what happens. You don't want to get caught looking ahead, and you don't handle the obstacle in front of you. We have to be able to handle Louisville. And in my opinion, we need to be able to move the football on the ground. Now, I'm just going to take a look at a few things and show you guys what I saw in that game against NC State. Now, Notre Dame was able to run the ball pretty darn effectively. I think ultimately what's going to happen is we are going to have to move the football through the air. And because we can't move the ball through the air, and Jared Parker, you got to start having faith in Sam Hartman. Because these last 2 games have not shown a lot of faith, in my opinion, in Sam Hartman. We're running the ball more than we're throwing it. The first couple of games, we were even and even. You have to have a balanced attack. And the whole point of us bringing Sam Hartman here is we have to balance the game. We have to have the same number of runs as the same number as passes. Trust Sam Hartman. He can make the right decision. And that's what's going to win us the game. Looking down here, you guys, and like I said, thank you guys for joining. Make sure you go to my Facebook and my Instagram and comment on it. And let me know what you guys think of the show up underneath. Tell me what you expect in the game at Louisville tomorrow. But I'm looking at this and I'm sitting here thinking to myself, we look at a lot of things, and I didn't get to watch this game in totality, so you guys forgive me. But NC State jumped up on them 10-0 second quarter, and it turned into the Louisville coming back and making a run and doing what they do, which is they started throwing around the field. Plummer hit Chris Bell on a 39-yard touchdown. That's another thing. We have to be able to protect the deep pass. But on the flip side, we have to be able to throw the deep pass. In order for us to become that elite team, we have to be able to throw the football. But lastly, I am a little bit concerned about the front 7 of Louisville. They remind me a lot of Duke's front 7. They're very aggressive and they tackle well. And that's another thing that Notre Dame has to be able to get better at. We're one of the worst teams in the nation as far as tackling. Broke tackles. We're right there at the bottom of the league when it comes to broken tackles. We have to tackle better. That has been an Achilles heel for the Irish, whether it was in the Ohio State game, whether it was in the Duke game last week. We were missing tackles in the Navy game. Guys, we have got to wrap up and make plays. Doesn't do us a bit of good if you get them 3 yards in the backfield, but you don't finish the play. Looking at these numbers, we rank 4th nationally in yards allowed passing. Now, Louisville ranks 16th in passing yards per game. So this is going to be almost a strength on strength for the Irish. Because Notre Dame has struggled in the run game, stopping the run, but Louisville's really, really good in the pass game, which that goes back to Plummer. And ultimately, we've got to be able to get to Plummer, in my opinion. I mean, don't get me wrong. We have to be able to shut this thing down, because if we don't, we're going to have some problems. Because we don't stop the run exceptionally well. And see, Notre Dame ranks 50th. Look at how we comparison here. And see, Louisville's ranked 29th running the football. See, that's not bad, but it's not great. If you're going to be an elite football team, you need to be right there in the top. They are 29th. But they throw it much better than they run it. You know, with that being said, do I feel like we can win this game? Of course. And I think we can win it big if Parker, our offensive coordinator, decides he's going to let Sam Hartman take this game over. Because honestly, I don't know if we can run the football on Louisville. I think we can. But I'm not really positive the way we've looked the last couple of weeks with everything being in the box. Everybody's asking, you know, why is everybody in the box? Because everybody is terrified of Audric Estime. Nobody wants to tackle this guy one-on-one, and I don't blame him. You know, you got a 230-pound freight train, but you want to tackle him too. But looking at, see what the experts are saying about Notre Dame and Louisville. Because last week, it was a clean sweep. Everybody felt like the Irish were going to win. And it's like that again. We've got a clean sweep here, except we got one close one and two blowouts. I think ultimately we're going to be able to run the ball. I just don't know to what extent we're going to be able to run the ball. I think ultimately we're going to have to be able to throw the ball. And honestly, Jared Parker is going to have to unleash Sam Hartman at some point. He's going to have to unleash him. It's like he's afraid. He's afraid to let this guy do what he did at Wake Forest, and he has to let him do this. But I'm not afraid of what Sam Hartman can do. If Jared Parker unleashes him, he should throw for 300 plus. Because I'm not afraid of Louisville's pass rush or Louisville's defense. But let's look at the tail of the tape anyway. Louisville ranks 55th nationally defending the pass. And see, this is probably my biggest issue with the Irish right here. 44th, as of right now, throwing the football. Why? You've got a guy that is not afraid to make the big throws. Jared Parker, this guy made a hell of a comeback last week. Put the ball in his hands. Let him do his thing. Let him win the Heisman. Louisville's got some really good tacklers, so it's not going to be real easy to break tackles and get out in the open space. But Notre Dame is tied for 15th nationally with 9.9 yards an attempt. And Louisville is tied for 60th with 7.1 yards given up per pass play. So that bodes well. Jared Parker, I'll say it again. You need to let Sam Hartman loose. Rushing yards a game. Now see, this is what I was telling you guys about. Notre Dame ranks 33rd with shade under 200 yards a game rushing. But look at Louisville. They're ranked 33rd nationally, giving up only 109.6 yards a game. Parker, this has got Sam Hartman's name written all over it. What you going to do? My final prediction for this game is going to be, I'm taking my gut that Jared Parker's gonna take heed my advice telepathically, and he's gonna let Sam Hartman cut it loose. And I think we've got a couple of receivers that's gonna be back this week. I'm not sure about Jaden Thomas, but I think Jaden Grayhouse will be back. And I believe that he cuts it loose, and he throws for over 300 and possibly 2 scores. So I'm gonna go Notre Dame 35, Louisville 13. But that's going to do it for us, you guys. Make sure you always visit the Facebook page and my Instagram if you got comments and so on and so forth. Make sure you check out the Instagram and let me know how I'm doing on the show. And also hit me up on next time. May God keep you in the palms of his hands.